Welcome to Tabletop News. I'm your host, the author, David Applegate, author of the books The Boyhood of Cain, Power Games, Into the Elsebound, and The Erotic Tales from the Empire. We have books 3 of Erotic Tales soon to come, starting to build up towards it. As usual, we're going to start with our favourite site, the button I'm holding. Just excuse me a moment while I just do a quick sound check to see how we're doing on the broadcast. Are we live? We're doing it live. We're doing it live. All right, wait. We've got a longer delay than usual. Yeah, we got quite the delay today. Oh my. Are we live? It says we're live. So delayed longer. Yeah, where's the... All right, let's... All right, hold on. Something's... Oh my God. Okay. I may not have video on YouTube. I have video on Rumble, not YouTube. Oh. All right. All right, so I'm just going to have to leave it for now. All right. Just something's gone wrong with YouTube, and I can't seem to connect. Can't seem to find what's wrong with YouTube. I got no video. Just checking studio. All right. Close these tabs. They're pretty useless now. Okay. Close you. Sorry about this. I really, for the money you spend every year, and it's totally disappointed. Totally cheated. It says I'm live. Where is it? Okay. Says coder's not connected. Says I have some feed. I can't fix it. And I can't disconnect it. All right, I'm going to continue with Rumble only. I have to. Sorry about this. Welcome to the Bundle of Holding. This is my favorite, one of my all-time favorite sites, where you can get bundles of RPGs for low prices, and usually they are time limited, and however they do reoccur, so try not to panic. Now, Dragon Onomicon is 6 days to go. It's a system neutral fantasy source book from Raging Swans, $70.95 one price. Now, if you ever wanted to run your own fantasy adventure but lack the time, these are backdrops. These are theatre settings. You can grab more than 30 detailed, self-contained adventure sites, stock the dungeons from the other source book, the Onomicon, and you've got some village backdrops as well to add. $17.95 gets you started with 8 system neutral source books. The Dread is more than 30 system. 30 self-contained system neutral dungeons with maps by Jason Logos. The Thing adds things. It's a long-running series of things you can add to dungeons and other settings, lairs, laboratories, castles, swamps, etc. As well as that, you've got a whole collection of villages, 4 dozen short detailed descriptions of individual villages ready to add to any game. And a miscellany. A miscellany of things to spark your creativity. Over 200 system neutral campaign components. That's personalities, locations, caverns, and starting points to add to your campaign to pad it out. Pardon me. Hold on a sec. Let's see how we're doing. Alrighty. Just something's gone wrong with you. Does a short, detailed description. All right, so, gosh, my microphone's picking up every sound and every rumble. All right, so I do not know what's wrong today with YouTube, but I'll re-upload after this is finished. But of course, it will have me rumbling, complaining at the start. All right, so this is an all-new Chivalry and Sorcery tabletop role-playing ebooks. New Lands. New Lands is broken into two collections. $12.95 gets you started. This is Chivalry and Sorcery, a tabletop role-playing game of medieval fantasy adventure from Britannia Game Designs. If you're new to CNS, you'll need the core rulebooks in the Rising Sun bundle. That's this bundle right here coming up. However, this is a compendium of new historical sourcebooks, gazettas, and full-length campaign adventures. As I said, $12.95 gets you started with 4 titles, all DRM-free. Pay more than the threshold price of $25.40, and you get the bonus collection included. Chivalry and Sorcery, Dux Bellorium. Deep adventure in the mysterious world of the historical Arthur. Now, this is a rules expansion to take you into the lost world of Britain after the legions have burnt cities, howling raiders invade once peaceful shores. Old faiths battle the new faiths battle the old. People cower before fell powers and monsters of the night. Ancient Celtic tribes arise again. Warlords battle Picts, Scots, and Saxons. This is the world of historical King Arthur. Maybe this is after after the fall of Rome in Britain. Chivalry and Sorcery, the Celts. This is a Druidic adventure for Chivalry and Sorcery, describing Celtic Britain in the Iron Age. Create characters with fae or otherworldly birth omens. You got Druidic spells and mythical adventures in Iron Age Britain. The Mohun Isles. This is 5 Philly islands in the Marrow Sea to compose a democratic and largely self-sufficient region cut off from the mainland of Marrakesh. Blah, blah, blah. Right. It's a setting with whole fleets and pirates. However, and you have a new source book, new rules, new spells, new characters, new skills, and war horses, new orders, and more for sorcery and chivalry. Level up, which I recommend you do. You have the adventure collection, beat the threshold price, and you get Chivalry and Sorcery, Heirloom of Gar campaign. As it says, this is a campaign set in a fictional kingdom. And it starts off with the usual backdrop. There is a war, and now a plague. The cult is rebuilding, and you got to infiltrate the goldsmiths, the moneylenders guild, and and cultists seek to corrupt key ley line. There's sacred oak groves to protect, and other cults as well. This is so you got the setting book with the kingdom's history, 4-part campaign, and a high resolution map. This was a successful Kickstarter campaign. A lot of them are. Hillfort of the Pagans, another what is it? This is, yeah, another scenario for advanced characters, at least level 10, to explores the idea of corruption as a force embodied by demons and other world entities, and adventures in Utind. 6 short adventures set in the kingdom of Utind, and the campaign setting in previous adventures. Yeah. Curse of the Casket is actually a standalone title in Rising Sun Bundle. Yeah. So, little bit of overlap, but nothing significant to worry about. Just probably included to keep the set intact from its Kickstarter campaign. All right, Chivalry and Rising Sun. From February 24, Chivalry and Sorcery and its Rising Sun setting. This includes the core source books as well as the Rising Sun supplements from 2021 and more. The Chivalry Collection, $40.95 to get you started. This is the Chivalry and Sorcery tabletop role-playing game from Britannia Game Designs, along with the 2021 version of its Lands of the Rising Sun campaign setting. It's one of the oldest fantasy role-playing games still published. It is based on a medieval Europe with Christianity, game focused not on dungeon crawls, but the feudal system, court intrigue, and more. Waterfall and assassination plot, a royal wedding, clear bandits, find the missing priest, recover tithes. This has all you need. Now, the Land of Rising Sun is a historical focus on Japan's feudal period, as updated with 5th edition rules. And this is the version of the 2021 campaign, not the vintage standalone game. $14.95 gets you started, but pay above the threshold price of $25.28 and you level up. So here we have Sword and Sorcery, the main rules. Run a high fantasy, or gritty low fantasy, or even historical simulation. Fairy tale romance to courtly love, to religious intrigue, to bloody battles, various dynasties, domain management, badass goblins, terrifying dragons. CNS lets you play the Middle Ages however you want. 5th edition, released 2019, has been tidied up, altered to improve gameplay. So a bit of tweaking. Well, you priests could be Christians, Jews, Islamic, Taylor rules, whether real world or fiction, and you have a few little supplements to help you with character generation. Goblins, orcs, and trolls. The monstrous beasts of fiction, sort of. They are based on fairy tales. Goblins, orcs, and trolls may be hostile, but not always, and not without reason. Their viewpoint is that of medieval theologians. Who considered how creatures might actually fit into the world. How you get 60 monsters from medieval Europe, and legends of lore. Yeah. Well, the people of the Middle Ages believed these creatures actually did exist, or probably existed. But you have various monsters. Now, some are straight up adversaries, but some are pretty harmless, mostly harmless. But they're quite some terrifying beasts that could lay waste to entire cities unless they're challenged properly. Now, here we have a collection of adventures. A castle. The castles of Britain. Now, the medieval period, of course, was pretty much violence, and those who could organize and build castles become the nobility, and they did violence to perpetuate their power. So, and you've got quite the useful Grandmaster screen, of course, useful reference charts. All right, so pay above the threshold price, which I recommend you do, and you get the Land of the Rising Sun. Basically, adventure in feudal Japan. Again, you could be historically accurate or be completely off the beaten path. Now, there are different vocations to fit in with the setting, such as samurai and ninja, various playable species, the religions of medieval Japan, being Buddhism and Shintoism, various skills unique to the setting, of course, various spells and acts of faith, and, of course, a map. And if you didn't know it, the Japanese dragon literally is the outline of the islands of Japan. Yeah. No, this is the bestiary for medieval Japan folklore. There's hundreds of yokai. That is basically not always monsters, but traditionally most of them are some sort of demon. But there are creatures of flesh and blood as well. Now, adventure book, of course. What's a role-playing game without adventure? There's a couple of adventures to get you started in the Land of the Rising Sun. Empire Valves, that's one word. Empire Valves, your one-stop shop for interesting trinkets based on my writing. Now, we have mostly coffee cups for now, but we do have posters to come. Where has your mug taken you today? All right. Mine will take you to the stars. Next up, we have Rider, an Old West Sephiroth engine role-playing game. Now, Sephiroth is based on Traveller. Well, this has been adapted to cinematic gunslinging. So for $12.95, you get the entire collection, just one price. You have the core rulebook that welcomes you to the Wild West, modifies the D6, the 2D6 system, of course. Gives you an adapted Old West setting. So you have a character generation system in giving you greater controls over the character's backstory, career paths. And this is ventures, which you would see in any Western movie. Careers, basically. What did you do to become an adventurer before? Bartender, barkeep, blacksmith shop, or maybe a rustler, etc. This is a supplement that has new skills and new backgrounds for characters who even went to law school. New Liberty. Well, welcome to New Liberty. New Liberty, well, to be precise, Miss Esther's Body House. Enjoy some entertainment at Elkhorn Palace. Get a drink at the Shining Star, etc. New Liberty is a setting book with a bustling town and short adventures to get you started. Last but not least, famous characters, new friends and enemies. Your historical personages of the 19th century frontier America can be added to your campaign, such as Billy the Kid, Butch Cassidy, and Jesse James, Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and Johnny Ringo. Each character sheet has a short biography and is suited for this all-star campaign. Next up, we have something very interesting, I believe, is a sci-fi fantasy comic. Now, the Top Cow collection comes in two parts. The starter collection, $9.95, gets you started. We have captivating stories from a diverse comic book community, best known for flagship titles of Witchblade, The Darkness, and Cyberforce. This company publishes quite a number of hard science fiction and fantasy series. Not just the first volumes, but complete runs. This album is a collection of 10 different series. Now, pay $9.95 and you get 8 complete series. Level up, which I recommend you do. Pay above the threshold price of $20.81 and you get the entire bonus collection with 10 more. Again, as I said, these are very diverse science and fantasy. In the starter collection, Underworld, a love-struck adventure between Hades and Persephone. For those who don't know, that is the Greek tragedy. Although it can be sometimes presented as a comedy with the love-struck Hades and the confused Persephone. Ancient Greek gods, right? Eclipse is what happens if sunlight burnt you alive. It's basically a mysterious solar event has transformed sunlight into deadly rays. The world now has to survive in nocturnal cities, but there's now a new killer who burns his victims alive, and he's now targeted the daughter of a solar power mogul. And it's up to you to save the day. Now, these are comics, not adventures, but they are adventure comics. Genius. Genius is about a military strategist, greatest military mind of all time, they claim. But all she knows is violence and has to adapt in a city that has declared war on her. Infinite Dark. Murder at the end of the universe. This is an interesting one. The universe is ended, but humanity survives on an arc ship floating through space. They've settled into their home, and now what's happened? They found a body, bloody and brutalized, with inscrutable ruins. As head of security division, Doa Carell has to investigate a murder above the obvious and faces a horror from beyond time itself. Now, the Port of Earth is basically that. Earth is now a port for aliens. They've come along and offers us tech if we act as a port, a hub. Now, aliens basically are restricted to have restrictions, but they break them, and now security agents have to track them down and deport them. Mechanism. Now, this one is about the aftermath of an alien invasion. No, not a friendly one. And man has to either be a noble creature worth preserving, or are they not worth saving? Antarctica, out in the cold. This is her life went to ruin when her father failed to return from a mission. This is at the secretive Antarctic base. She's at her lowest. She's retrained. She seeks a job at the same station to search for her father. And lo and behold, there's a conspiracy that threatens everything that she believed. Our stairway, basically calculating the number of the beast. Postgraduate student has discovered hidden information in our so-called junk DNA. This is a baffling discovery that has larger scientific implications and triggers the largest scientific research initiative since the Manhattan Project. But what do they do when they discover the stairway to heaven? Will it unleash something that could kill all of humanity? Level up, which I recommend you do, and you get Helm Greycastle, the entire bonus collection. Yeah, this is a RPG of Sacred Armor. Now, Helm Greycastle is outsiders, save the prince, but are waylaid, recruited by resistance, plotting to overthrow Montezuma. Will they help the people of Mexica or the Dragon Prince or flee? Yeah. So they got options. But what are the consequences? Le Mano del Destoro is a tale of a once champion luchador who, after being betrayed by his friend and unmasked in a ring, these are basically masked wrestlers, supposed to keep your identity secret. Now, he's unmasked, so now he has to get kicked out for shame, but he decides to undergo a Faustian bargain. Now, with new powers and the identity of Lamando El Deseo, the man of destiny, he wreaks revenge on his betrayers. Right, this is 1960s Mexico, where lubrication is interestingly woven into all aspects of society, which they wanted. Yeah, wrestling, Mexican wrestling. All right, this is the rest of Eclipse, carries on the stories about the corrupt tycoons. Genius continues on the story, now of South America and the cartels. Ports of Earth gets more politically charged, and the aliens want to open up the Port of Earth for galactic travelers, and a security agency must contain a deadly alien outbreak and deal with growing human resistance. Infinite Dark. Maybe we'll see the light, but aboard the ship of Orpheus, the remnants of humanity saved the day, outwitted a cosmic entity, but now they have to face something worse, something more familiar. A very familiar monster, each other. Stairway, the anthology, 8 stories of rising stars, hard science fiction, looking at humanity in the time of genetic manipulation, paradoxes, alternative histories, and more. Some very interesting comic collection. Expand the mind with this collection today. Brilliance. Next up, we have Brand Colonia. Now, Brand Colonia, this collection, $14.95, is an add-on to, that's right, Balcolonia. So Balcolonia Bounty is a collection of new supplements for the Bright Kingdom. If you needed a Bright Kingdom, you do need the Balcolonia collection. In this collection, this expands the world of Balcolonia. So try to say that 3 times fast. Okay, so you go through the Upalelian countryside full of dancing spider witches, the mythological Skycilia, Cabelios, snow-capped Molotites with mule demons. Sounds like DC, right? Mule demons. All right, so there's a lot of sword and sorcery, fairy tales, and grim dark, and oh yeah, this is Pinocchio! Hey, Pinocchio! I mean, hey, Pinocchio, this is Cinderella. Get you to tell the lie. Oh, oi! Hey, everybody suddenly Italian. All right, $14.95 gets you 3 complete supplements in well, right. So we have the Bounty Kingdom Gazetta. It's what it is. from tip to toe, discover new locations that for centuries have enchanted and awed knaves across the globe. 24 various locations in the kingdom. Stir fry? Wrong country, Abadi. This is the spaghetti of fantasy, not the stir fry of fantasy. That's a couple of collections back, matey. All right, so you got the Valley of Temples, Mount Vesuvius, and other locations. Some new classes, some new magic, some new brigands, and some beatings. What are beatings? Lethal moves, of course. Beat the enemy. Hey, Pinocchio! No, telling a lie. As I said, they take it quite literally. Spaghetti fantasy, 100 plus new monsters for meatheads to beat on. And they come with lore, which is interesting. I've not seen many books give that many creatures detailed lore, but Furious Lands, you can't spell campaign without pain. I love that. I love that. I right. Furious Lands is an anthology of campaigns and adventures. Volume was previously unpublished, but it does have out of print modules and other official release products from 2022 and 2024, including content from the original crowdfunding campaign. It was successful, but they did extend it and then extend it. But I don't blame them. You know, if you're on a roll, go for it, I guess. But yeah, this is a nice add-on. And Breccolonia is quite the fun, matey. So buckle up and stir the spaghetti pot. $12.95 gets you the complete setting to get you started. Though at the time it was the complete setting. This is the world of Umberto Eco and other Renaissance epics, such as The Princess Bride, Pinocchio, and hundreds more, mostly fairy tales, believe it or not. Apart from Cinderella, most of your fairy tales were Italian originally. Now, yes, Cinderella was known in Russian as Cinders. It was translated by an Italian who revived and reworked the story into Cinderella that we know. But it was actually a German who translated it in English, which is the weird one. Though they did translate it into German as well, it became famous in its English translation, which, as you know, was picked up by Walt Disney. Now, this is quite a brawly low fantasy of treasure hunters. You got swindlers, slobs, and scoundrels. Some have been pulled out of prison, and they're out there to fix things that the heroes didn't fix or messed up. So you have everything you need except for the D&D 5th core rulebook, and you don't need anything else. $12.95 gets you started. One price gets you this collection, and one price gets you this collection. Of course, you have the main core setting rulebook for digital lasagna. That is quite literally what it says, digital lasagna. Everybody loved the lasagna, especially the fat cat in the back. All right, so you have the kingdom, which I think is the core setting, and you have the independent cities, here and there. You have various secrets. You have various secret societies. You have folklore and tradition. You have the Sylvan races. You have the monsters and antagonists and secrets and threats. And a 6-part episode campaign in Search of Fortune. Then, of course, they expanded it. Now, the Manaconion expands Bracolonia. It was a stretch goal. You had puppeteers, new spells, wagon loads of equipment, creatures and adversities, new cities, and topics such as extravaganzas, relics, and the nature of the marionettes to cooking monsters. Well, it was Monster Hunter was all the rage at the time. Anybody remember that? Yeah, Monster Hunter was pretty good. Yeah. Now, the Empire Wax Back is about basically a full-themed campaign, and basically of races. You have backgrounds. You have the Empire, its rulers and its secrets. You have the Northern Kingdom. Go free, go freedom, right? Of course, new monsters and adventurers. Well, once you've finished all that, you're going to want hooks and new characters, new equipment, new monsters. This was another stretch goal in another fun in the Empire Waxback crowdfunding campaign. So this was a campaign. This was a stretch goal in this campaign. Yeah, it was 3 rounds of funding. This being the 3rd one. So yeah, stretch goals and but yeah, they were having fun and they created something quite interesting. I too am working on what I believe to be quite interesting, and that's future fantasy, where elves set off and established a space empire that's lasted for over 10,000 years. And I have created over 100 supplements already and still going. You can just basically join for $1 a month and support the channel. Why not? Thank you very much, Lee. All right. Now, Drive-Through RPG is the biggest RPG downstore for tabletop gaming. Everything you buy is almost everything you buy, I should say, is available on Drive-Through RPG. There are a few exclusives, so you can download everything straight through you can log in first, so you get your Wizards box. You log in there and you log in and get all your downloads. So if you lose your files, you can just go back and get them. But same with, you've got a library on Drive-Through RPG. But the thing is, this is your world's largest, right? It's got not just D&D, and you can actually see like Cyberpunk and various other, like at least half a dozen new releases every week. So you're not overloaded because it's not just one series. So you could probably go months or weeks between releases. Right now, Traveller is releasing a lot. So is Shadowdark. Shadowdark RPG is an old school revival RPG, and it is releasing a lot of material. Now, one of the reasons is because there's a lot of support for it, and a lot of it is third-party material. This is a book of over 200 named characters. What's it do? Well, you've got encounters, adventures, and NPC tables and stats. Everything you need to add a bunch of dangerous strangers to your campaign. Entity. Entity is a unique system. Expeditions in science fantasy, sorry. So an entity is basically travel encounters, location encounters, and other expeditions. Instead of moving towards a single location, you make your way across a large area, each with their own identity. Each area has its own locations, features, and tags. These are just stops along the way. Some of them have fully details, others are full of danger, others are ruins, groves, etc. You've got hundreds of encounters and presets and challenges. So that is quite the interesting RPG, and it has more material. So Entity Advanced Expeditions is an add-on for a unique system Entity. Now, Kickstarter is where a lot of your tabletops are still popping out of. Not everyone has gone straight to backer kit. Some go from Kickstarter to backer kit for a second and third round of funding. But this is where a lot of people start. Now, this is new. It only came out today. Just because it has 0 backers now and is sitting at a huge goal doesn't mean it won't succeed. Psychological horror is a niche, but at 17,000, it still has a pretty good chance of succeeding. And right now, it has some very ambitious pricing at a basic pledge of $5 going up to 10, still pretty reasonable. But then you hit the 75 and 99 tiers, and the complete edition, and executive collection. But there are whales, not many. Personally, I think this is a very ambitious project, but I've seen people with very ambitious projects succeed. Usually they are large companies with a large, well-known IP like Thundercats. Or, well, what's the other one? Thundercats. I'm trying to think. Ghost in the Shell, and the third one, the anime. Wasn't it UIP? It wasn't UIP, an anime one, and it went like over $1 million or something. So you can get a lot of success in the mid tier. I would say nothing good or bad about the pricing, because I don't know the value of the product to horror fans. I'm not a horror fan. I'm a horror, though I am a what would you say, a lore collector. I like the lore of some IPs like Kawafu, but I'm not a horror fan. I'm more a fantasy science, like Cyberpunk or steampunk, or my own science fantasy setting of magic. But psychological horror, a game based on your choices, and you have sanity checks, and your choices affect them, and there's an official Discord, etc. There's a nice little video presentation, a nice little spiel here to introduce you to the campaign. And you play it's a first-person psychological experience that is meant to make you question everything. It's non-linear storytelling, story choices with multiple endings and mature content, risk and challenges. It's a solo developer. Release times are subject to change. The project will move forward unless explicit notice is given. So the way it is, if this Kickstarter fails, they are probably going to try again on another platform or at a lower price. But this is ambitious, and I wish them luck, because, quite frankly, I don't think success belongs to anyone. There should be no rules about the market. I know you hear all the time about player choice, consumer choice. When consumer choice gets past 4 or 5 choices, usually things fall apart. Well, the thing is, there are over a dozen genres. There are over 14 different tabletop games in each genre, and it is still, you have many. Horror is heavy, fantasy is heavy, science is starting to be very light. A lot of games come and go, like Traveller. Every few years they have a burst of material, and then it gets light. D&D, of course, is going through its woe period, the woe is me period. That is basically, oh my god, we need $1 million just to break even. We got too many IPs and too many the thing is, they relied on for so long big games to bring in big money, and as the players got older, younger players weren't attracted to these big games. It's only the nostalgia players who go out and buy Neverwinter Nights number 4 or 5, or played Neverwinter Nights for 20 years, pumping money into it, just keep playing the same characters over and over again. Those days are gone. People, once they finish most games, don't come back. And that's happening with young people in role playing. They play a game, then they go to the next one, the next one, the next one. They don't come back. Sometimes they do with successful Kickstarters. Again, successful Kickstarter. They followed it up. Let's see. When did they release this one? 2024. I think this was 21, because I remember this one. I have this one from 21, I think. I'm sort of at that point too where I got, it is 24. They were released months apart. I remember I thought there was a period of time between the two. Must be another one I'm thinking of. I'm like that now, where if I get a game, I'm going to play it through, but I'm not going to replay it over and over again. I just at that point where I want new experiences. I don't want to re-experience the Forgotten Realms. I know it. I've been through it, and I'm not going to go through it again. It's a lot of the events of the Forgotten Realms are just rehashed. Like Arm is just the Spanish Wars. Same with pretty much the Red Wizards of Thay. It's just the Spanish Inquisition. If you didn't know, the Red Priests. You have the Mongol invasion. You have the that's about it. The Gods' War. Which was a big disappointment, I think, and a turning point. But yeah, it was basically a setting about. It was a Tolkien-esque setting. Set in the withdrawal time of man, the rise of man. It was like a Hobbit wannabe, except instead of hobbits, you had dwarves and halflings. Instead of orcs, you had orcs, goblins, and trolls, although different kinds of trolls, and dragons, and lots of them. And I think most interesting campaigns like Waterdeep were best played in the video game. So this, if you're looking to get started in role playing, of course, start with as a game master. This is pretty much game master. But if you're looking to get started, Bracciolini, if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, Chivalry and Sorcery is a good rival, and it is a complete set. Not relying on external rulebooks, and it has an expansion. If you're just looking for some Western fun, but if you're looking for something to read to expand your mind, I think this is the best pack on offer. And of course, don't forget to support the channel either with a purchase from my merch store or support me on Patreon, or both. But again, I apologize for YouTube. It disconnected on me. I couldn't get it back. Something went wrong. So, yeah. I am going to upload this. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please support the channel. And support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon, buy my books, buy my merch. All my links will be in the link tree below. Will be in the description below. Most of my links are in the link tree, but I will be uploading this video again, and I'll put all the links to all the RPG material. And yes, some of them are affiliate links, but I'm not paid to promote these products. I give my honest opinion, and my honest opinion is, hey, check out Theatre Fantasy. In about an hour's time, all my links should be there. Just got to upload this video again. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video. Bye for now. Whoops.